Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing program. Thank you for joining us on this platform, wherever you are joining from. I appreciate you and I thank you for your support. Like and share to every platform. Share to family and friends. Please share to everyone that you can get across to. Share so that others can get this information. Remember, this platform where you are watching is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a place where we spread the gospel of Biafra, a platform where we bring information that has to do with the restoration of independent state of Biafra, a platform where we bring update that is coming directly from the Prime Minister of Biafra, Republic of Nigeria, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. In this platform, we expose all the hidden secrets of the zoo, the war that they have declared on Biafran territory that they are hiding before the whole world. We expose it for the world to see. And if you want to see evidence, video evidence, picture evidence, audio evidence, go to the platform of our Prime Minister on X. Type Simon Ekpa with verified account on Blue. Simon Ekpa, you are going to see evidence that will blow your mind. Everything you want to know about the war in Biafran territory, you are going to see them there. There are certain videos we cannot share on YouTube or on Facebook, but we share those pictures and videos on X. That is where matured minds are. That is where we can be able to express ourselves freely. So go to X, type Simon Ekpa, verified account with Blue. You are going to get evidence as much as you want. My fellow Biafrans, as we are preparing and waiting for the independent state of Biafra, every Biafra must put their hand on deck. Give the support you can, everything you can do. Put your money where your mouth is. There is no other hope that you have, no other defense that we have as Biafran except the Biafra government. Biafra government is the only where we have to lay our hope. That is why you must support financially, most importantly, because after the declaration in December, Biafra land will be defended. There have been many angles and many issues and many directions have opened. Many strategies have been put in place for us to be able to support. In case you are not yet convinced, you have any doubt in you, there are chances for you to make your own objection. There's rooms for you to ask questions. For those who are business-minded, follow the IOU loan. Register for the IOU loan. Whatever contribution you make, you will be given back 100% interest. This is very important. You want to have a one-on-one discussion with our Prime Minister before you donate, like the money bags who are scared, who want to invest. You can invest in your freedom. Whatever you put in, you are going to get back 100% interest. This is not a joke. So wherever you are watching this program from, seize this opportunity to play your own role and do what you have to do. As we are preparing for our freedom, we are also watching and observing what is happening in the zoo. As we are speaking, the protest is still ongoing, and from every indication you can see clearly that the protests have divided the Zoological Republic. The protests have divided the country, and as we see, the southwest Ududua land, they are doing something different. In the north, they are doing something different. In Biafra land, something different has been done. In the middle belt, it is different. This is a clear statement. The whole world is watching. And everyone that continues to say that Nigeria is one is an idiot, is an evil person. These are people who do not care about humanity. If you care about humanity, this is the time to end Nigeria. End it and let everyone go their separate ways out of love. End it and save life. End it and save humanity. This is the time. Stop supporting the terrorist government, a government that is terrorizing its own people that are supposed to protest because of individual interest, because of selfish interest, because of lack of collective interest. And it will continue except you end Nigeria. I want to share with you some videos that are coming out from this protest and some other informations that are coming from their conventional media for you to know actually what is going on. Let's watch.
Kaduna an fito. Wallahi Kaduna an fito, see people. Ora uba. Iya mutanenmu na tudun wada kenan.
What you just saw now is protest in Kaduna State. Kaduna State is on fire. And the people are still walking out. The people are still going. They are still carrying the Russian flag. Carrying the Russian flag. Even with all the threats, they are carrying the Russian flag. And you can see the crowd. Heavy and still increasing. But I want to let you know that for us Biafrans, we are already out. Let others look for their fate. Whatever you decide to do, it is up to you. There is no country called Nigeria. Long time ago, the politicians have been pretending and deceiving people until now, when the people have risen up and there is no going back. I want to share with you another video of the program that the channel television is conducting in their own station, what they are saying and their own version of talk. You are going to hear from Falana what he has to say. Let us listen and hear their blackmail and propaganda on their media.
Issues of subversion of our democracy. Did you ever envisage that things are going to go in this direction? And now we are even now having to discuss how there could be some kind of international dimension to a possible subversion of the instituted authority in the nation.
Well, I never thought in my widest imagination that what started as a peaceful protest will snowball into a campaign by some elements for an unconstitutional change of government. Whichever way you look at it, it is totally unacceptable because for almost 3 decades, Nigerians went through a horrendous experience to chase the military out of power in Nigeria. We were also involved, some of us were also involved in the struggle for the democratization, as it were, of a number of African countries. We were involved in the struggle against apartheid, in the struggle against colonialism in the Southern African region. And currently, I'm personally involved in the campaign against the colonization of Western Sahara by Morocco. So to that extent, we cannot fold our arms and allow undemocratic forces to undermine the democratic process. Yes, we are bound to have peaceful protest. We are bound to disagree with those who are in power. We are bound to condemn the denial of the dividends of democracy to our people. But peaceful protest should not be allowed to degenerate to a situation whereby forces of repression would take advantage to begin to demand for an unconstitutional change of government or campaigning for military rule in one form or the other. But again, I can understand what is going on. For me, it's born out of the tragedy of the not teaching history in our schools by government. We've had uninterrupted civil rule for 25 years. So you can imagine that those who are 40 years now were probably 15 when the military was forced out of power. So for those who are under 40 in Nigeria, a majority are, they have not been told, they have not been taught in any school what Nigerians went through under all manners of military dictators. Ditto for the Civil War, because the history of the Civil War has not been taught in our schools. Many young people are calling for a war in many parts of the country. So I think a lot of lessons should be drawn from this experience. Again, last year, after the elections, there were people who openly called for a military coup in Abuja. Since nothing happened to them, others now feel that it's a normal call. Once there is a disagreement, either with the government of the day or with other forces in the country. But we must not allow enemies of democracy to derail the democratic process. But it's also a challenge to those who are in power at the federal, state, and local governments to take this as a wake-up call that for Nigerians, it can never be the same again, by seriously addressing the crisis of poverty, of injustice, illegal arrest and detention without trial. Because when you listen to some of the demands, you will discover that a lot of these issues a lot of the problems could have been resolved by the government. And when I talk of the government, I do not mean the federal government alone. And that is why I have demanded, and my organization has demanded, that we take the issue of accountability very seriously at all levels of government in Nigeria. And for the elite, our job is cut out for us by this experience. Never again are we going to allow children, 18.5 million children, never again should we allow them out of school, because that is the figure by UNICEF. And over 60% of that figure can be located in the north. So there are young people, there are children who are permanently on the street. So when there is any little gathering of people, any form of gathering of people, they are bound to join. And when it is a protest for young people and for others who are hungry, who have not eaten for days, they think it's an opportunity to join the looting culture in the country. And when I talk of looting culture, I'm talking of looting, grand looting, by members of the ruling class, those who are facing trial for looting the treasury to the tune of 109 billion, or some.
The DSS is talking, the immigration is talking, and in the identification of those who are said to have been fingered in sponsoring the mayhem. The dimension of the Russian flags that we're saying. And we've been having this conversation in the last 2 days. And our role here as a media is to also point out what we see as a possible threat to our democracy and whatever that is strange in our land. We see the dimension in which the protests have gone in the northern region of the country, where we've seen more damage and more destruction on the street, to the point that people are so daring, they took over the armored vehicle of the police and were driving it around. We see people literally removing the bricks on the road and unleashing mayhem on infrastructure of private banks and in fact public property. I mean, what could have led to this? What do you figure could have brought this international dimension where we now see foreign flags being flown in our country?
Well, Sean, we are products of our environment. The Russian flag being hosted or being taken around can be traced to the crisis in Niger Republic. As far as many of these guys are concerned, and I'm talking of the conscious elements that introduce this dangerous dimension to the protest, I think what they are trying to achieve is to say, whereas Nigeria led ECOWAS to threaten the government, the military government in Niger, this time around, we are supporting the military government in Niger, in Burkina Faso, in Mali. And therefore, since Russia is the main backer of these military regimes, we also want a situation. I mean, we are supporting Russia, and we are taking advantage of this, because if you also listen to the campaign, they are calling for outright military rule in our country, a very dangerous call. And so that explains that. But again, the Russian government through the embassy in Nigeria said, we have nothing to do with the protests in Nigeria. But I'm saying that a few elements took advantage of the protests to introduce the Russian flag, to make their point and to support their call for a military dictatorship, a return of the military in our country. And I'm saying that that will have to be resisted by Nigerians, in as much as Nigerians have the right to protest. Peaceful protests must not be allowed to be hijacked by any group of people to demand a return of military rule in our country. It's not going to move us forward. In fact, it's going to take the country more than 40 years back. And that has been our experience, and the experience of some of the countries where people are embracing military rule.
Now, yesterday, Mr. Fala,
you can hear their inconsistent voice. Confusion everywhere. These are the people who claim to be supporting the protesters. All of a sudden, they are changing and they are saying different things altogether. Well, whatever be their decision, so be it for them. As for we are going home. Freedom or die.